Hello, Internet, and welcome back to What's Going On with me, Shaun. This week's a long one, but I really hope you'll watch this because it's special. This week I'm sharing a story very few people have ever heard, and it's one of the most special and personal moments of my life. About 20 years ago, I was invited to join an acappella gospel group, and I'm not kidding. Acappella, for those of you that don't know, it means no instruments, just voices, and it was so fun. Not that it matters, but also of interest, I was the youngest and whitest member of the Bright Stars. Larry, Milt, Marvin, and Lawrence Jr. invited me to their rehearsal when I had overheard two of them talking about the group. I met Larry and Milt at my church in Seattle, and I was instantly drawn to them. They were both old enough to be my father. They were both military veterans, and they were both married to Korean women. And I could go on about their wives because they treated me like one of their own children, but I'll just say that I love those ladies with all my heart. When Larry and Milt were discussing their rehearsal, I had to ask about it because I love music. They immediately just invited me to come to their Friday night rehearsal. And that night, I think it made my life better in a multitude of ways. So I'm enjoying an evening of singing, perfectly content to just sit right there and soak it in. They were singing all kinds of songs I'd never heard from groups I'd never heard of, like Five Blind Boys of Alabama, the Mighty Clouds of Joy, and the Dixie Hummingbirds. Well, as the evening moved along, they started singing a hymn, I'll Fly Away, and I grew up with that hymn. I was half singing along as they were singing themselves. And then they said, hey, find a part. This means we'll sing a part that harmonizes with the other voices. Well, I'd sung and heard that particular song about 99 million times, so I just jumped in. It was awesome. They asked me to join that group that night. Fast forward through church concerts, prison concerts, gospel festivals, nursing home concerts, veterans hospital concerts, and a lot of fun traveling to some of these events in Larry's RV. I think that story is awesome enough, but the story I want to share comes from my time with the Bright Stars. So pay attention. Here's the story within the story. We showed up for one of our concerts at a nursing home in Enumclaw, Washington. And Enumclaw is pretty much at the foot of Mount Rainier. It's a small town. The crowd assembled for us that afternoon might have included 15 people, including staff members. So the Bright Stars performed just the way we always did. Whether it was 1,500 or 500 or 15 or 1, which is very important. We finished that concert, and as we were packing up our gear, a woman slowly made her way up to me with a walker. And I think every step she was taking was painful because she was very, very frail. And she made it close enough to me and in the sweetest voice asked, "Do you know my favorite song?" I asked her what the name of the song was, but she couldn't remember it. And I tried to help her, but after a few minutes, she began to cry because she couldn't remember the name of her favorite song. And I said I was sorry, and she walked away, and it was just super sad. Now, this would be a terrible place to end the story, so let me tell you that about 15 minutes later, this same woman came back, slowly approaching me again. So I walked toward her, I met her halfway, and immediately I saw the smile on her face. And I was close enough at that point where she said, "How great thou art! Do you know it?" Well, the concert was over, our gear was packed, but we were still there. So I started singing, "O Lord my God." And the Bright Stars gathered around me for a concert for one special woman who had gone all the way back to her room to look for the name of her favorite song that she listened to every day. Now, I've performed and presented in front of hundreds, even thousands of people, but this one moment tops the list for me. It's honestly one of the greatest blessings in my life because on a planet filled with billions of people, I was in Enumclaw for a one-to-one experience that appeared to be an unforgettable, heartbreaking memory loss for one lonely woman, and instead, it turned into a tear-filled, joyful, shared moment. And I'm sure many would say that that moment was a blessing for that woman, but it was actually probably a bigger blessing for me, and the Bright Stars too. I'm thankful to have been in that place at that time with the opportunity to sing a concert for just one, because people matter, and respect matters, and quality time matters, and moments matter. More importantly, love matters, so be the difference. And that's what's going on. Until next time, may you find and take action on opportunities to sing a concert for one, to be the one listener that someone desperately needs, to be the difference in a world that's dying for it. As always, be blessed, be focused, and always keep a song in your heart. This week, mine has to be How Great Thou Art. And it's my favorite version, sung by Carrie Underwood with Vince Gill on guitar and backing vocal. It's a masterpiece and you should listen to it even if you don't like Jesus. Click right there to hear and see it, and I'll see you soon for another episode of What's Going On with Shaun.